It's about to bloom. Now, Don Bluth, the director of An American Tale, takes children of all ages on a wondrous and spectacular fantasy adventure that will delight and surprise you. A troll in Central Park. It all begins when a lovable little troll named Stanley...
I won't have him growing any more of those flowers.
...is banished to Central Park by an evil queen.
It feels delicious to be so vicious as the Noga, the queen of me.
There, he accidentally comes face to face with a little girl.
Joe.
And her brother Gus.
Who's that?
I'm Stanley. What's your name? What's this?
Together, they share a remarkable journey as they experience the incredible magic of Stanley's amazing special powers.
You gotta have a dream.
After them.
Until the evil queen discovered all the fun they were having.
We beat Ganorda.
Now, you too can enjoy the wonder and enchantment of a friendship that grows and blossoms in a movie that will make your heart sing. A Troll in Central Park. When you believe in yourself, you can do anything.
Well, I had to let it play for like almost 2 minutes of it. Yeah, I really didn't want to talk about this movie. I already could tell, and the Thunder Critic and already reviewed it. Laser Blight already talked about it. Heck, most people already talked about how bad this movie is. I try to avoid this movie as much as possible, but since I can't decide which video game I should play, I really couldn't decide what I'm supposed to do. It's like 10 degrees cold outside. I got nowhere else to go. Oh, it's just coming down very slowly and cold. I just don't know what else to do. I was gonna review All Dogs Go to Heaven, the first film, but I decided to review this movie instead. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes gives it like 20%. It is that terribly bad. I mean, I haven't reviewed a Don Bluth movie in like a long time. And no, American Tail, those sequel movies do not count since they're done by different directors. And I would not say Mystery of the Night Monster does not count as one. Because the rest of the other three are done by different people. Plus, I hardly talk about the Don Bluth movies. And I keep on seeing lots of people that play Dragon's Lair 1 and 2 lots of times. And no, I refuse to play more of it because the DVD I got has like the worst control of all time next to Space Ace. And those ones are a masterpiece of work. Anyways, let me just cut the chase. This movie is like
You're gonna love you, really.
Okay.
annoyingly
I'll be in a second.
stupid, dumb. I would say the animation looks good, but it just has most irritating characters you'll ever meet in movie history. I'll try not to show much of the movie, per se, that you have to watch the film for yourself. The movie's basically about one troll named Stanley. Who now wants to make precious flowers grow with his green thumb. But the downside is, these precious flowers aren't allowed to be in the kingdom of the main villain, Morgana. Norga, which is the weirdest name I ever heard in
Hello, my
mid-90s history. And her husband,
What is it? What is that awful smell?
Lar, which, believe it or not, is voiced by, well, Charlie Adley, which I best known him as the voice of Hunt from Rockadoodle, aka the Duke's little cousin. Anyhow, I know most of these actors aren't around anymore, but there's like a few good things about this movie, especially this scene here. Actually, gorgeous looking Rose. That's look beautiful.
Would you look at that? Come with me.
And these trolls look like they would be in a Dragon's Lair video game. And Gornalga herself also makes sure everything in her kingdom stays as dark and wicked as she is. As she has a thumb of her own that wants to turn everything into stone. And her plan is to make sure everyone the Stone Stanley.
Our number dwindling yearly, dearly. I mean, dearie.
So her goal is to make sure she wants to turn him to stone. But her husband, Lard, being the king as he is, sends him to somewhere, or a place where nothing grows, else and it'll be painful and slowly. It ships them to New York City, right where everything grows. Or they say rock and steel. And he gets introduced with New York welcome. And there's like the longest chase scene in movie history. It goes on for like nearly 5 minutes of Stanley being chased by dogs, and also they get attacked by a squirrel, almost gets eaten alive in a salad. Almost get ran over, and he ends up under a bridge. Get it? Throw on the bridge. Haha, very hilarious. And he grows a
We're safe in here.
grass plant to sleep on. And this is pretty much where the movie cuts away from that, and we cut to these
ice cream, and I'm
these kids. And yes, I understand they're like young kids back again in the day being toddlers and all that. Thanks. And we get like introduced by these characters. There's Rosie, which is the young baby toddler, her sister, and her brother Gus being the tough guy. And he's like one of those special kids that gets impatient at times. So, let me get this straight. We have a troll that ends up in New York City where everything else grows. Instead of sending him a place where nothing grows. It's rock, studio, and painful. But ends up in New York City Central Park, where later on he's going to encounter some kids. And then gets babysitted. And then end up in a big, huge adventure all in one day. I don't know what the writers were smoking when they were doing this movie, but this is pretty much how it is.
Hey, Mom. Will you take us to film my book?
Not to mention one of these actors who played the parents were in the show called Cheers. I'm not kidding. That actually happens. I like to show you, but I don't want to get copyrighted. Also, worst babysitter ever. Not gonna add there the kids. Plus, they live in New York City. So they end up in, like, Central Park. And all kinds of coincidence happening. Thank you, Maria. And he meets Stanley. And he plays with his boat. And these scenes go on, like, forever.
At Domino's, get any crust and any toppings for $9.99
Just
online.
at
Try
the
the
movie's
Domino's viral
time.
pizza or invent a new one.
It just has, like, nothing but filler.
Google still tracks you
Just to add
in
the movie's
incognito
timing.
mode. Use DuckDuckGo, a real private browser.
So, yeah. I kind of feel bad for Dom DeLuise being in this movie. It just almost feels like a waste of opportunity of his acting role. So Rosie grabs her doll that looks like a troll and grabs him by mistake. Again, goes inside underneath the bridge. And Gus gets a toy and sees her sister Rosie go inside the bridge, and Stanley has this
I am a troll.
odd connection now.
You don't say much, do you?
Troll.
No, Stanley. Can you say Stanley?
Troll.
Forget it. Hey.
Oh yeah, that's nice. Can you say any of these words of obnoxious, annoying, and JVS? And it's the movie's timing. Just everything all bouncy and blurry. This is like the movie's timing, just random things happening. And her being terrified of a tiny bug. Yeah, nothing but filler. And there's this scene. You should not be doing that to a toddler. That's just not right. That's just wrong. No. That's just makes him kind of a freak. So, no. And not to mention, this movie has lots of songs in it. Which again, I would not get copyrighted by showing it. Anyways, Gus shows up and see if Rosie's okay. Or Stan hides underneath those flowers. Once I realize that Stanley is a real troll.
He can't be a troll because there's no such thing as trolls. Uh-oh. Talking flowers. This is weird. Rosie, we better go home.
This is weird? No. Weird is like something strange happening. This is really obnoxious at some point. Anyhow, at the movie's timing, Rosie starts crying about her bottle and those animals system. Or somewhere in whoever Caresville. Canorga watches them on her giant crystal, and she finds it to be enjoyable seeing a baby toddler crying, which makes her another word for it, unpleasant to watch. But anyways, she gets her bottle and the flowers start dancing. Yeah, this is torture. Really torture. Sure, this is good for kids, but for me, it's just filler, ending the movie's time. Anyhow, Gonarga is displeased and she wants to make sure, or she uses her power and start ripping off Alice in Wonderland by making Gus cry, and there we drowned them. And Gus, being a kind, lovely brother as he is, saves her sister from drowning. And uses his magic foam to make Gus' boat that was broken, which I forgot to mention at that one point, make it big. And there's this scene called Imagination, thinking it's real, and thinking be powerful than Gonarga's power, blah 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 blah. And there's like another scene, and it's all trippy and maddening. And where's a place where trolls are good guys, and blah 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 blah. I don't know, but I don't think I take much more of this cutesy, crazy stuff going on. And we just cut to the chase. And it's already
Shop sales Valentine's
almost
Day
halfway
gifts.
over.
Stylish new jewelry at an incredible value.
This movie is
Only
like
at
true
sales.
madness to add your timing.
Really looks like?
Sure, the
You're not here to
animation
show
looks as bad,
You're here to show up.
looks good
For yourself,
at times, but
not the selfie.
I kind of felt bad for Don Bluth
So,
making this
at my
movie
last
exist,
job,
because the
I was
90s were not
working across several different
getting
groups.
good at times
It-
from most movie timing. Anyhow, Ganorga wants to destroy Stanley once and for all. Using all her powerful use all her powers to go after Stanley and also greet the kids and have a Central Park looks really destroyed after her tornado storm attack. And nobody calls the cops during all that. So they just go by themselves and
Adorable little baby. Horrible creature, isn't she?
okay, that made me laugh. Anyhow, they go after the kids by... Well, watch. Friggin' tricycles. All the things they have to ride are friggin' tricycles. Anyways. And they're not just chase scene. In the evil queen, Ganorga catches Rosie and tries to get Stanley some help, but he's too much of a coward. So Gus has to go by himself. Alvin saves her instead. keeps her trapped inside, but sweats through out it and puts her in a dog cage instead. And want to Lord Stanley to turn all of them into stone, but she could have done that from the very beginning. And she gets out of the cage, and Gus gets her out without being crows. End up in a big fight, and he tries to get there, and Gornarga turned Gus into a troll, which begins on why she did that in the beginning. And now he has power of fun to turn anything to stone. And almost nearly fall off the edge, and Stanley and Gornarga end up in an epic final fight in Thumb Wars. And she can actually control Gus. That's by turning Stanley into stone. Again, it looked like she actually won, but luckily he uses his thumb to turn her into a rose bush, and Gus turns back to normal, and the movie never comes to the end that Gus learns something important to be patient. And believe it or not, the movie ends where Gus uses a green thumb and brings him back to life.
Did you know Cheez-It made extra toasty?
I did. But did you know that's not
And he
allowed?
comes back to life.
Hey, Meta, play my gallery
And they were happy. And the parents never see Stanley, and the movie comes to an end where he uses all his plant powers by covering New York City and garden and plants all over the town. And we end this movie with this scene.
Gnorga, queen of posies. Stop attacking me! Why do you always have to attack me down?
Yeah, I almost forgot the dog keeps buying him more than once. And that was a Tron Central part of the movie. Was it really worth your time? Because it sure wasn't worth my time. I don't know what they were thinking when they made this movie existed. It's not super good at all. It's just nonsensical. It's chaotic. It's insane. It's stupid. Or most likely insane on how bad this movie really is. They're not wrong, whether you like this movie or not. It's just seem unreasonable. It's, the word for it, repulsive. It's heinous. It's just dreadful. It's just bad. It's just bad. Not just about kids. It's just, I can't find the words to describe on how insanely dumb this movie is. It just feels like the legendary Don Bluth lost his touch back in the classic times, since the 70s and 80s were pretty great until he did this movie. I mean, if he was still alive, I would just feel pity on him on why this movie was a thing. Why does this movie exist? Just why? Why would this be a thing? Sure, people say, oh, this movie wasn't all as bad as what they say. It seems passable. It seemed alright. And to me, it's kind of really dumb and idiotic. It's just dreadful. It's just indescribably insane. It's just like torturing someone that you're forced to watch all that cutesy matinee stuff are combined to one big huge mixed up, what's the word for it? Oh yeah, cuddly, below average movie you've ever seen. But trust me, I'll probably review All Dogs Go to Heaven 1, 2, 3, which is the holiday one. And the TV show? Oh no. Oh no, I'm not doing that. Forget that. That mess. Screw that shit. I'm not doing that. I mean, if you like this movie, fine. For me, count me out. I know I haven't reviewed a movie that's heinously, insanely dumb. The songs just seem a little bit more of a filler thing. But I kind of like the Gonorga song better. So there's that. The rest of it is just insanity of having kids being as they are, or at Brad, yeah, at times. But yeah, they're kind of like that, but not this insatiably insane asylum. So I give Troll a central part of the movie on how stupidly crazy it is. A 2 out of 10. It's really that awful. It just drives me insane that I had to talk about this movie. I really didn't want to talk about it. This one's almost 31 years old. It's just really crazy or insanity. I have not talked about a movie that bad in such a long time. I mean, I'll give it some credit. The animation's not super awful. It seems a little bit okay on most parts until you play. The main character, Stanley himself, is just too cheerful. He's too much of a coward. He's too much annoying at times. Most of the characters are half annoying, obnoxious at times. Just seemed like this movie didn't need to exist, but they had to cough all that doll's worth. And hopefully they will not remake this in the near future. If they do, it's probably not gonna be as good as the original movie. Wait, what am I saying? It's just... yeah, I got nothing. I'm done. Thank you all for watching. I mean, if you like this movie, fine. But for me, it just seemed a little bit dreadful at times for me to talk about for like a whole half hour of stupidityness. In other words, it's a piece of crap. Thank you all for watching.